For those of you who are new, hi, my name is Victoria Jackson Neely. I am 26 years old. I have a daughter, and I am married and a real estate agent. So yeah, I think that's everything that sums me up pretty much. There's other stuff, but we can get into that later. But yeah, today we're just gonna be talking about a few things that I wish I knew before, of course, having this beautiful baby that I have. I'm gonna kind of break it up into two parts. So I'm gonna say pre-pregnancy, some things I wish I knew, because there were a lot of things that I went through during my pregnancy that if I could write myself during it and give myself notes on what to do, I would have. So there's that. And then I'm gonna say post-pregnancy, which will be like all of the motherhood things that I've kind of learned going throughout. So yeah, so just starting off, when it comes to, if you guys see me moving and shaking, it's because, as you can see, my daughter's like right here, and I'm just trying to keep her asleep so I can talk, so we can chit chat, so we can get to know each other, girl. So yeah, if I just like randomly am moving, that's why. But yeah, anyway, so the first one on my post, or I guess pre-pregnancy list, is going to be basically like getting a protective style. If I could tell myself back then, like, just plan to do something with your hair, because that was like the worst part for me. I won't say like the worst part for me, because there were other parts, but essentially I wish I would have gotten braids throughout my entire pregnancy, because as you guys can tell, I am natural. And just like when you're natural, you have to like, it's a lot of maintenance when it comes to your hair. And in the first trimester, you really just like, you do not feel good. You do not feel good at all. And like, at anything that you can do to minimize just all the stuff that you have to do, like, I would highly recommend. And that's why I said like protective style, or just like minimizing like my maintenance during that time. So like, if you need to get a like dry shampoo, if you need to like, you know, make sure you have appointments set up in advance, like, go ahead and like get that done if you're thinking about getting pregnant, or if you're like, you know, starting that pregnancy process. Because I will tell you, like, the last thing you are thinking about when you're in that first trimester is like what you look like. You do not care. You do not care, especially if you're going through morning sickness. You're just like trying to survive the day. And if you have to go to work, it's like, there were a lot of times where I was just like, I do not really feel like pulling myself together right now, doing my hair right now, but I have to, because I can't show up to work looking like I was dragged out of hell. Like, I need to like put myself together, but I wish I had put things in place beforehand to make it easier. So yeah, that's the number one. I would have done a protective style in my next pregnancy. I'm gonna get braids. I'm gonna get something like locks, something that can last me throughout the entire pregnancy, so I don't have to think about that when I'm going through the first trimester. If you know, you know. Excuse me, I guess my allergies are coming back because this Texas weather is like ridiculous. But yeah, number two, I'm gonna say I would have bought like some Velcro or some slip-on shoes that could be like my everyday wear around shoes. I have like a pair of slip-ons, but they're not like everyday. They're like your like sandals that you wear outside to like walk your dog. Like, that's the type of slip-ons that I had. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I was looking a little ghetto and during the pregnancy. Like, I already told you, the first trimester was already like kicking me from the beginning. And I had sandals, like, they're cute church sandals, but you have to like click them, like you have to like, you know, do the whole, you get the point, like buckle it. I would just walk around with them unbuckled, like genuinely, like going to work, going like out, and like I would just buckle it when I had the strength to buckle it. And so that's why it's just like I would just get a pair of shoes that are easy to put on, easy to take off, because like you don't realize it and you don't think, like typically you're like, oh, that's like third trimester stuff. No. Um, second trimester, honestly, half of the first trimester, like it just like you're tired, you're genuinely tired, you're genuinely exhausted, and it's just those little things that you just don't think about. Like everyone, I think, probably more so focuses on like, you know, making sure that they like have food, what are your cravings gonna be, doctor's appointments, all of that stuff, and those things are important, but you definitely want to map out like the little things, and just trying to just bring down your maintenance as much as possible, because you're exhausted. Like how people explain it is like during those 9 months, your body is essentially running a marathon every single day. And so you're genuinely just so tired that doing the bare minimum is sometimes exhausting. So yeah, I would definitely get some like Velcro like shoes or something like that that I could just slip on and go. I wore a lot of dresses during my pregnancy, and that was something that I really liked doing, and I would repeat that again, because that was just one of those things that just made life easier. And also like wearing pants while pregnant is not it. Like I did leggings a couple of times, did not enjoy it, did not like it. I think it was just the band was too tight. Definitely I had some pants, if I can find them, I'll link them. But I had some pants that I wore that were like biker short pants that I got from Forever 21 like years ago, that had like a really like stretchy waistband, and the material was soft. I wore those every chance I could get. I wore them to the point where like the inner thigh started ripping. Like that's how much I wore those pants. Like I was washing them so much and wearing them so much that they started to like disintegrate. But yeah, like I only had that one pair. If I knew in advance, I would have bought more. But like things like that, I would highly recommend. Like I would highly recommend like loose biker shorts, dresses. If you're pregnant during the winter, you may just want to go ahead and get some type of like maternity pants with the stretchy band, because I'm telling you, like those bands, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. Even shorts, I would wear my shorts, but I would tuck them in. I don't know if you guys have seen those styles that people do where you just like tuck in the zipper part and then you just throw your shirt over it. That's what I would do. So yeah, like those are just like some things that if I could go back in time, I would just like set up my wardrobe a little bit better, set up my shoes a little bit better, just those little things just to take some stress and some like not so fun times off of my shoulder. But yeah, so that's kind of like my pre-pregnancy things that I would go into. Oh, last one, I would keep trash bags in my car. That one may be a little bit TMI, but yes, I would keep some like disposable bags in my car, because that's where I experienced a decent amount of my morning sickness, was like driving around in the car. I'd also put some disposable silverware in there because I also was hungry all the time and eating in my car. That's a side note. But yeah, like those are just some things that like now I know. And so next pregnancy, we're gonna tick that list and make sure that we have it all together. But yeah, now jumping into the post-pregnancy things. So that'll be everything that I kind of learned and found out after I had my daughter. Starting off on the top of that list, I would just say mother's intuition is learned. Now, for those people who are like, well, I had mother's intuition like you know, straight out the gate. Like, yes, there are some things that you do have mother's intuition about, like straight out the gate. I'm not denying that. I'm just kind of wanting to highlight, just for anyone who may just be going through some things with your baby where, you know, they're crying a lot and you're not able to figure it out like right off the bat, or like they're like making gestures but you're not able to get it like right off the bat. It's a learned thing. I realized that over time with her, that it was like I started to be able to understand her cries and her cues more the more I was with her and the more I was around her. So yes, there are some things that it just clicks in mother's intuition wise, but there are other things that are learned. And so I just wanted to highlight that if anyone was like feeling discouraged, just because they hadn't like yet gotten down like what their baby was crying about, because sometimes they're just crying, sometimes they're just crying. And that's like another thing, is that like sometimes they're just crying and it may be over nothing. There's sometimes my daughter is just like sitting in her bassinet like yelling at me, and she doesn't want anything, she just wants me to pick her up, and I can't pick her up at the moment because I'm cooking. So like she's not, her diaper's changed, like she's totally fine, she just wants attention, and that happens. So yeah, my mom always tells me, like, you know, if her diaper's changed, if she's like been fed, and if she's like been rested and stuff like that, like sometimes they're just gonna cry, they're just gonna cry, and it just happens, and you didn't do anything wrong. And if you can't figure it out this time, doesn't mean you're a bad mom. There's plenty of other times to figure out what they're crying about, and to help them through that. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that. Also, like, sometimes you're gonna have a plan, or you're gonna want to have a plan, and if the day is not gonna go how you planned it, it's not gonna work that way. Honestly, like 20 minutes ago, I had planned to shoot this video, then clean my apartment, and she just was not falling asleep at the time that I had planned to shoot this video, so I had to change the plan. So I ended up vacuuming. I haven't finished cleaning my apartment, but I started cleaning my apartment, then now I'm shooting this video, and then I'm gonna go back to cleaning my apartment because now she's finally asleep. So it's just like stuff like that. It doesn't mean you can't have a plan. I wouldn't say like, you know, just feel like you can't do anything, because I've been down that road before where I just kind of like just gave in and was like, fine, we're just gonna lay around all day. And it's not good for you mentally, it's not good for the baby either, because they do enjoy structure. It's just that like they don't understand structure, they don't understand like plans, and they're not going to be like, oh, you know, mommy said like this is nap time now, so I'm gonna take a nap. Like no, they're not there yet. So you just have to understand that like you can make a plan for the day, but just allow that plan to be like flexible throughout the day. And it took me a while to really like get that. I always would like have a plan, and then if it didn't work out, I would just kind of like be like, well, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm just gonna lay on the couch and do that. And it's like, no, like no, it wasn't good for me, it wasn't good for my mental health. So yeah, just remember that, like, have a plan, but allow the plan to be flexible. And then also just piggybacking off of that, like every day is not gonna be the same. There are some times where like, so we'll have, like I said, there is structure, babies do like structure. So like the structure that we kind of have is that she does take naps around specific times of the day. So like when we wake up in the morning, I'll probably shoot like a morning routine with you guys, but yeah, when we wake up in the morning, depending on what time we wake up, she typically has her first nap around like 9, her second nap at around like 11, her third nap at around like 2:30, going into 3, and then her next nap is typically closer to her bedtime. She gets really irritated and tired around like 7:50. So like that's kind of like the baseline structure that we have. But within that structure, just because she took, like, let's say today she takes a 2-hour nap during that 11 o'clock time, doesn't mean that tomorrow she'll take a 2-hour nap during that 11 o'clock time. It could be a 30-minute nap. So it's just like things like that. Just understand, like, every day is not gonna be the same. There will be little things like baseline structure that you can adhere to, but just like be okay again and be flexible with knowing that, you know, just because this happened today, this was great, we may have had a great day today, tomorrow may not be that day. Because, like, again, when it comes to little children and babies, you don't always know like what exactly is making them unhappy. Like, it takes time to learn, and so there may be just like, for whatever reason, she's just not having a good day, and that happens. Like, it happens for us as adults too. Like, sometimes I wake up and just because it's raining outside, I'm just like not in the mood to do anything. Like, and that's all that happened. Like, nothing big happened or anything like that. It's just raining, and because it's raining, I'm like, I don't want to go outside. I just want to chill and watch Harry Potter. Like, legitimately, I get in moods like that. And so yeah, if I as an adult can have moments and moods like that, kids, they're just getting into their emotions, they're just getting into their feelings, so they too are gonna experience things like that. And just like, give yourself grace, give them grace, because it's all learning. Like, it's all learning, it's all figuring it out, and you'll figure it out, you'll get there. Like I've said in previous videos, all children, all babies are different, so you'll figure out what works for you, you'll figure out what works for your baby, and you guys will get into a rhythm at some point in time. So yeah, for anyone, if you're in the beginning parts of being a mother, I understand you and I feel you, especially if you are a primarily like breastfeeding mom. It does feel overwhelming. It does feel like your kid is just attached to you 24/7 and you can't do anything. But I promise you, it will get better over time. There will become times that they will become more and more independent. The other night, like, me and my husband were like cooking in the kitchen, and she was sitting in her playset like playing. And she did that for at least like 20 minutes. Like, it may not sound like a lot for someone who isn't currently has children, but that was a win for us, because we were able for that 20 minutes to like get our meals cooked and actually have some time like apart from the baby together. She was still within, of course, eyesight. Like, we were in the kitchen and she was just over here in the living room, but that was like a win for us. And so if you're in that time where like you don't feel like you're having any separation or anything like that, just know it's coming, and just celebrate your small wins, because those things will add up over time. But yeah, I hope this video gave you guys some information and insight. I hope it helped anyone it needed to help. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, finish cleaning my apartment, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.